Okay, so this is episode three of Future of Finance. I'm with my co-host Jamal Dixon, and today we are interviewing Anish Kothari. He has been in the institution, he has been in finance for the last almost 30 years, 29 years, and he works at a major U.S. bank. How are you doing, Mr.
Very
Kothari?
good. Aksh, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Hello, Jamal. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Very good.
So our first question is, you started at a major U.S. bank 30 years ago, not as a finance or economics major, as a computer science major. What led you into the financial industry?
That's an interesting question, and I get asked that all the time. I started my career almost 30 years ago as a master's from in computer science from Stevens, and I actually did start my career in technology. And over the course of time, working in technology, building trading systems, coding for them, led me to understand the finance business a lot better. And over the course of time, I figured I was more suited for a trading slash sales type finance job versus more of a coding job. My interpersonal skills, my kind of client-facing capabilities made me feel like I needed to make the move out of technology into the business side. So it wasn't easy. It took a long time, a long transition over the course of a couple different opportunities, but here I am. Last about 16 odd years in sales.
That's
Okay.
very
It's
impressive.
earlier on, like when you're doing technology, how did your background in computer science from Stevens help you shape your career in finance and sales?
Yeah, so look, I mean, when I started, I got into campus recruiting through Stevens and started to work at a firm that doesn't exist anymore called Solomon Smith Barney or Solomon Brothers, which later became Smith Barney. And it was a part of a training class of about 50 students that they hired into technology and operations. Most of whom did not have a lot of background in the finance field, all technologists who kind of were brought in to build systems and build platforms and help create trading systems that the firm needed at the time, right? And I think as a part of the process over the course of multiple years of building technology platforms, you get to understand the business part of it, how the business works for the technology that supports it, right? So as you grow in that role, you learn more and more about the business. So it's very interesting that without a proper finance education, there is a path into finance. And I'm talking about 30 years ago. That was something that happens frequently. And if you still see a lot of seniors within the finance industry, a lot of them don't have MBAs or financial majors. They learn through the jobs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So looking back, like, do you have any key moments that shaped your that like helped you become a director or like made you the director you are today?
Well, director is just an officer title that most of these banks will dole out over the course of time as you graduate in your specific role, right? I think the more important question is how do you figure out how do you grow into the next level of your role, right? So a lot of focus on learning on the job is what I would say is super important for this kind of opportunities. And paying attention to what you're doing, what you're being taught, um, asking questions, a lot of questions, and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Like we're
Do
doing right,
research. What's that?
like we're doing right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the way to learn, right? Like asking a lot of questions. If I had to say, can you learn everything there is to learn in finance as a part of your education? No, you can't. You just can't do that, right? There's so many different things to learn. and it's impossible. So learning on the job is a big part of growing in your career, regardless of whether you're in finance or anywhere else.
So you said a little bit about like mentorship. Did you have any key mentors throughout your career?
I mean, your managers are definitely your mentors, and you rely on them a lot. But also, a key, I would say, suggestion I have is make mentors who are not your managers, right? Seek out and find people who are willing to coach you, willing to teach you, right? And it also helps not only learning a new product that you're not already working on, but it also helps networking, which I say is one of the key things that you have to do. I would say definitely as a part of the finance industry, networking relationships matter a lot. But also learning from all those relationships and connecting the dots. Like think outside the box, go out of your way to help, and that's how you grow.
Thank you. Um, so what sort of, I saw you've been with your bank for 30 years. So what motivated you to stay and build a long career at such a prestigious institution?
Um, Good question. It's the set of opportunities, basically, right? I had the unique, I would say, opportunity to move from technology into different parts of the banking world, right? I started in technology, building systems. Then at some point, people said, "Okay, you understand the business better than a lot of technologists would. So why don't you come on to the business side and start helping us translate from whatever business requirements are into building technology to the technology team?" And when you're sitting in that in between seat between technology and business, you definitely learn a lot about the business. And then there was a point in time where I said I could actually do the business side of this a lot better than I can do what I was doing, which was being intermediate between technology and business. And I found an opportunity at some point 16 years ago to make that transition. But you have to realize that making that transition without a proper finance kind of a degree is not always easy, not always possible. You have to get the right opportunity at the right time, and you have to show that you have the capabilities to perform the completely new set of I would say business activities that you're not trained by education to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, if you had to explain your role or what prime service sales is to someone who had no idea what it was, how would you explain it?
That's an interesting question. This is getting into the very, I would say, guts of a lot of financial systems. So, if I had to broadly kind of differentiate, I think you had done a couple different podcasts earlier on wealth management, if investments, right, for personal and high net worth people. Think about prime services as it finding services or giving or providing services to very large financial institutions to be able to do their investments, right? So if you think about it, how does a mutual fund work? They buy and sell shares and stocks and bonds and whatever you have. They need banks to service a lot of what they do. Trading is one aspect of it. There is a lot of other things to manage a mutual fund, right? To custody the assets, to value the assets. There's a lot of other things that happen. So similar to that, while mutual funds and private wealth applies to individuals, there are this organizations called hedge funds, which are in very simple terms very large sum of money being invested by major institutions who have an extreme deep understanding of um, investments, strategies, products across the board, right? So these are people who handle billions and billions of dollars of investments on behalf of their clients. And we provide trading services for them. We provide execution services for them. We provide custody, financing. You will come across a term called leverage, which is basically borrowing money to invest, right? So you have $100, you could invest, I don't know, $150 worth by borrowing money against it, right? So we offer loans, margin loans to clients. All these services can be done in your personal individual trading accounts, but these are done at massive scales of the billions of dollars. That's a very high level and crude definition of what prime services means. It's in simple terms offering brokerage services like your E-Trade, like your Charles Schwab accounts to hedge funds, which are a lot more, I would say, heavy on activities and larger scale of money and leverage.
Thank you.
Thank you. So obviously we did a lot of research about you, but we want to know more personal things. And earlier you mentioned hedge funds. So what does a typical day sort of look like in your role working at a hedge fund and instituting clients?
Yeah, so look, I don't work for a hedge fund. I work for a bank who provides services to a hedge fund, right? So my job can be defined as hedge fund sales. A hedge fund typically is an organization, is a company that invests a lot of financial professionals who make trading decisions. There are a lot of analysts who do research for them. There are a lot of quants and risk managers and tech people who support the portfolio managers and investment managers in helping them make decisions on what products to invest into, how to trade them. There's a whole set of people who help settle and clear those services, right? That the trades have been done with prime brokers. So a day in my job as a prime broker is a lot of working with the clients, having the clients or speaking to the clients to have them do business with Citi, with our institution, right? To offer them financial services, to offer them leverage, to offer them services to trade, algorithms to trade, right? Stuff like that is what we do. So a typical day could be client meetings, pitching products, relationship building, uh, solving difficult problems for clients. A lot of times, these clients come in with complex trade ideas or complex strategies, and they want to implement it. And we have to find ways that the firm can implement it, and in the process, do it in a profitable way so we can make money as a part of that as well.
Thank you.
So, like in your role, would you consider relationship building with your clients just as or more important than the technical knowledge of what you are selling?
I think it's a combination of the two. I mean, relationship building in a sales job is in any field extremely important, right? Relationships are the key to speaking to the clients, trying to sell services to them. So relationship building is definitely important. And I stress that relationship building is not just external with the clients, it's internal within the bank as well. If you want to get complex solutions for clients, you will need support from a lot of different organizations within the bank to deliver a single set of services to the client, right? So relationship building is definitely a key. A good salesperson will also be able to get technical, right? As in, clients want to trust you. Clients have to trust you. If you're selling services, if you have products that have risk in them that you're selling, clients need to trust that you're helping them with the right solutions, the right decisions. And while we sell 30 different products, let's say, you could be good at all 30, but you couldn't be technically expert on each one of them, right? So there's a whole support staff, there's a whole staff behind us who is smarter than us, more risk kind of takers behind us, traders behind us, right? Who can be leveraged to bring in at the right time. So the goal for a salesperson is to talk about the various services that your bank can provide, engage in a conversation where it's worth bringing in some of the more technical, more risk takers, more senior people into the conversation so that the deal can be done together.
Okay, thank you. So people that are aspiring to work in finance or sales may have some questions. So I want to ask, what advice would you give to people or students involved in, I mean, interested in finance, sales, or institutional banking careers like yourself?
Well, I think the key is you have to like what you do, right? And if you like what you do, even and in your shoes while you're in high school, right? Read the newspapers, read the Wall Street Journal, spend time understanding what's going on in the world. Like watch CNBC or Bloomberg or whatever TV you have access to. Uh, News is important. You learn a lot from the newspapers, right? Like current events, what's going on with the oil supply, what happens when the supply gets cut off or you have excess of supply. So all those things, I would say, get interested in it, learn about it, right? You may not be an expert at any of these, or you may not learn like a lot of the nitty-gritty, but being involved in the current events is one great way to kind of get an understanding of finance, right? The second thing is, I mean, as your career progresses from school into college, like seek out for opportunities where you can learn a lot more about the industry, right? As I said, the industry is not a small one. There could be investment banking, there could be corporate banking, there could be trading in markets where I am, there could be wealth management. So there are a lot of roles in finance that you could research and understand where you fit the best, right? Finance is not one size fits all. There are a lot of different opportunities within finance. You could be good at quant, you could be good at technology, and you could be developing trading models, right? You could be working on a bank side. You could be working at a hedge fund. Completely different ways you can get exposure to finance. It's just more and more research, right? Like talk to your seniors, talk to friends who are in finance right now, understand what they like or not like about what they're studying. So I think exposure to the industry, in my mind, is one of the key things you should be doing to kind of focus on that path if you want to.
Thank you.
So right now, a lot of students are have this there's a stigma around target schools and how a lot of students are currently worried they won't get a job in finance if they don't go to a target school. So what advice do you have for students who go to non-targets that could help them stand out to these big banks?
It's a great question, and I would want to debunk that fact that only Target School gets people into the finance industry, right? I do campus recruiting. I do interview students for summer internships and analyst classes and everything. And you'd be surprised how many non-target school resumes that we get and that we review, and a lot of those students do get offered into that. So I would say if you're good at what you do, if you can differentiate yourself, get internships, uh, show your interest in the finance space, right? It will manifest itself. There will be big banks do go on non-target school for recruiting. You obviously have to be aware of it. Another thing I would say is look at all these banks. They hire people almost a year before they need to come in for summers, right? So summer programs are extremely important and a great way to get in a foot in the door in that industry. So for summer of this year, the class was kind of offered their positions last year, right? So recruiting happens a long time ahead of when you really need to do your internships. So don't wait until the last minute would be super important, regardless of whether you're target or non-target school, right? And yeah, I mean, apply to a lot of different places. Look at the bank side, look at the hedge fund side. There are other products and vendors who support a lot of financial services that you can look into as well, right? So it's not just the big major banks that you need to look at. There are many other ways to get into finance. And the other piece I would say is we for summer internships for analyst class, we do hire students who may not have a finance background. They could have taken some financial courses as their minors, right? Or they could just be like a history major, right? They could just be wanting to or be interested in what the difference I see that a history major, why does a history major from a non-target get hired into a finance class, a finance position, is a lot of training of what we're going to do is done on the job. Like you do not learn most of the things that a bank or institution needs to do in college. You learn the basic understanding of finance, right? But the idea is you have to show interest. You have to show the ability that you can be coached, right? So overall, if your resume shows that you have done things that prove your ability to learn quickly, think on your feet, do large projects, work as a team, show your leadership skills, all that goes into how a final decision is made to hire people, at least from colleges starting up brand new as associates analysts and summer interns, right? It is important to show those characteristics, and that's what gets you hired. Maintaining a high GPA is required. I wouldn't say that's not important. It shows consistency, it shows focus, and those are the things that we look at when we interview students, their ability to learn as opposed to what they already know, right? We sometimes ask, not sometimes, all the times we have students provide us with end of summer, it's a 6 week program. We'll ask them to pitch stocks to us, right? Every time. There's no right or wrong way to pitch a stock. There's no right or wrong answer to say whether a stock's going to go up or not, right? The idea would be how does the student take that problem? How do they analyze the problem? Can they stand behind their work? How do they explain how they got to a certain solution, right? Or a decision for that matter. And are you coachable, right? So when people challenge your decisions, can you stand by it? And do you realize maybe you have a flaw in your view and can you think on the fly and change that based on the feedback, right? So the ability to learn, take feedback, and also I would say stand behind your decisions to the extent that you think you're right. And if you think that you may have made a mistake, be coachable and pivot. So those are the kind of characteristics I would say we look at.
Thank you. Um, so as we know, we've been interviewing different successful figures in the finance world. So what do you think success is? Like, what's your definition of success?
Well, it depends on the individual, right? I mean, in my personal situation, I consider success as doing something that I like to do. I mean, I'll be honest, 6 or 8 months into my job 29 years ago, I figured technology, as much as I love it, I wasn't meant for technology. So I had to figure out a way to do something different. And over the course of many years, I figured out a way to do it. If you ask me what my dream job is, I will say this is my dream job, right? So success to me is coming to work every day with my head up high, wanting to solve problems, doing what I like to do, and not being miserable about my job, right? If you can get to all those points, obviously compensation, promotions are all important parts, and you achieve it as you get through your career. But to me, that's the definition of success: enjoying what you do, being good at what you do, and getting compensated and recognized with titles.
Great answer. So one last question before we wrap up. If you were to start your career all over again, what is one piece of information you would tell yourself?
That's a tough one, right? There could be a couple different things I could wrap that up with. One is be aggressive. Be aggressive in a polite way, right? Do not stand behind. Take ownership. Take take ownership, but along with ownership comes responsibility. So if something's wrong, you own it and own up to it sooner rather than later. Don't manifest whatever issues and errors that you have made in life, right? Express yourself. Let people know what your goals and ambitions are. Nobody's going to help you if you do not tell people where you want to be because they don't read your minds. And the third thing is you are your own self-advocate and no one else, right? So what I mean by that is you got to take charge of your career. You are the only one who knows where you want to go, and you got to find all the right ways to get to the point. And many different things that I said earlier in the conversation are ways to take ownership. As an analyst, I mean, I would say you're going to work hard. You should work hard. You should be putting in a ton of time knowing people, knowing products, understanding different businesses. It's the time in your career, the first 3 to 5 years, where you could definitely pivot from what you started with to what you really want to end up with, because now you know a lot more about the industry. So take charge of your career, and it starts from day one. And the other piece I say that is getting a job is not the end of the interview, right? You come to work every day, you're interviewing for your job to keep your job, right? So always be coming to work like it's the first day. Be attentive, learn, and make the most of every opportunity you get to learn. So that would be my uh, kind of long answer, but I would say that's how I would look at giving advice to someone starting in your shoes.
It's a great answer. And with that, I think that's all the time we have for today. We really thank you for your time and insight.
All right.
Thank
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Jamal, and Aksh. Thank you.
No problem. Have a nice day.
Bye bye. Yeah.